Hey, so before this Showmatch 6, I wanted to come in with a disclaimer. I am not associated with Risen Esports, right? I use a lot of their assets in Showmatch 6 to make it look good, and I talk on Risen topics, right, with Draft League. That being said, I am not a part of their production team. I am not a part of their mod team. Anything that's said in these interviews are not coming from Risen. They're coming from me directly. And I wanted that to be completely and utterly clear here before this show match 6 so that it's not misinterpreted as this being content coming from Risen. This is community made content and it is not Risen's. With that being said, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. Ladies and gentlemen, I gotta talk about your record. What's going on there, man? It's Friday!
Oh no, for sure. We're coming with a lot of hunger.
Wait, is that a cock? Wait, I just realized that's a fucking cock and ball!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Show Match 6, and it's playoffs, baby! My name is Zane, and I'm the host of Show Match 6, where I'm going to spend around 6 minutes each week with the captains of the show match. Right now, I have Dinner, the captain of KDT. How you doing, Dinner?
Hey, man, I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing fan-fucking-tastic, ready to get into this.
Yeah, and talking about getting into this, let me put on my business suit.
Oh, you're going to put on the... There he is!
I'm prepped. I'm ready for playoffs, about to get some business done.
Let's go. Perfect. Let's get right into it. So, first thing that I want to bring up is something that we all saw in the channel where they put in subs, right? We saw the captain of CDPC, the opposing team, put in a sub, right? And it got denied. I have a feeling that something more happened there, right? I got a sneaking suspicion. Can you bring me through from your end? How did that go?
Yeah, so Drew won the sub in Zeph. Zeph's a good player, and I think he's a good shot caller. And I think CDPC sorely lacks shot caller brains of any kind. So I think they really needed someone who actually had like a single brain cell that could help them win.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, to be honest, like any sub over Coach Pizza was going to be a massive improvement. So, I wanted them to play by the rules and at least get someone that their points allowed them to.
And they did end up doing that. I see recently they did sub someone in. I didn't get a chance to check the sub. Have you been able to look at that, see that? How you feeling?
Yeah, it's Itchy Rat. Dude's a pretty good player. I think he won Dom, right? So massive upgrade. I mean, like one of my strats going into this was just abuse the fuck out of Coach Pizza because he will and is always going to just int the fucking game. So, not gonna lie, they shored up their weaknesses pretty fucking well. So we'll see. The only thing I've heard, and I don't know if this is true, is that Itchy Rat is not a shot caller. So we may be in luck. They may not have any voices during their games. So we'll see.
Yeah. So the way you talk, you seem like you definitely believe that you are the better team, and it seems like everyone believes that you guys are heavy favorites into this matchup. Do you think being these heavy favorites into a much worse team adds pressure to perform, or do you think it relieves it because you have an easier game?
I mean, like we should 2-0 this, right? Like let's be honest here. CDPC shouldn't even be in the fucking playoffs. It's a fucking travesty, right? I'm honestly half surprised that they didn't even ask to reschedule. It's disgusting, really. So I think this should be a free 2-0. As for pressure, I mean, like, look, the last week I've had an inflamed median nerve. I've been wearing a wrist brace. I can't feel two of my goddamn fingers. CDPC, if you fucking lose this, you guys are trash. Like, that's all I gotta say.
I love that, and I was gonna ask about your wrist. You're still playing with your wrist being all hurt.
Yeah, dude. Grind doesn't stop. And I ain't fucking losing to this team, man.
Hell yeah,
If I
that's
lose
what
to
I'm
this
talking
team,
about.
I'm going AWOL. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, we do know that CDPC made playoffs off the backs of a Week 6 forfeit and a game that they weren't even a part of. That would have been Coke versus NVM. That game's results ended up putting CDPC into playoffs. So
Yeah, I fucking subbed in for Coke, so I put him in playoffs, and now I'm gonna take him out of it. Like,
that's what I like to hear. So
sinner giveth, and then he taketh away.
taketh away indeed. Speaking of taking away, I saw you took away Stonewall from the jungle role. Week 6, her and Court did swap, and I was wondering if they're going to stay swapped. Are you guys switching them back? What's the plan there?
Chances are we're gonna keep them swapped. I think Court is a really, really good jungler, and we've been kind of like changing things around in practice a little bit, and that's what seemed to work for us best. And I think we've had some really, really clean games kind of with this new position, the new role swap. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Um, yeah, I mean, to be honest, like the other 3 teams we beat were either not at their best form, had subs, or were just not very good teams in general, right? So the results looked a lot better. But I mean, I think the team is good, and I think we got a good core. I think once we've got a lot of our issues kind of like cleaned up during practice, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, and talking about your issues, getting them cleaned up, you have had 2 losses in your last 2 regular season games. I mean, have you got to change something, right? Or are you just
Oh yeah,
putting your nose to the grindstone and practicing?
it's mostly just like, since we had to do the swap back, and we realized like the ceiling of the team wasn't as high as we would have liked to be, so we kind of ended up doing like a switching in that point. And I think the last 2 weeks were kind of just trying to figure out what play styles, what champions work best for us, and fixing draft, fixing like obvious mistakes, kind of uh, stuff like that is just something that we've been working on. And now going into playoffs, I think we're a really solid team. And I mean, CDPC is just a stepping stone, right? I'm more worried about like DBS or something.
With that being said, are you guys already trying to start thinking of prep for DBAS? Are you looking forward, or are you fully focused on this game in particular?
Yeah, I mean, tomorrow's just an easy. We'll take it easy, and then starting on Saturday, I guess we'll start thinking about DBS, right?
I love to hear it. I love to hear it. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Are there any last words you'd like to say?
Yeah, my boy AMINARC is on the other team. Bro's not gonna have a good time. I'm sorry, man. Like, you're my homie. I've known you for like 7 or 8 years. I'm putting you in the dirt.
Funny enough, AMINARC is the one that I'm going to be interviewing next because the captain of CDPC, Drew, said, and I quote, I don't want to answer weird questions on stream. So, yeah, I'm
I
going to
don't know,
interview his
man.
jungler.
Yeah, Drew's a bit of a pussy for that one. Not gonna lie.
Thank you for saying it, so I didn't have to. All right, well,
Yeah.
thank you very much, and best of luck to you in your games.
Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Showmatch 6. I am here with AMINARC, who is decidedly not the captain of CDPC, because Drew, as I said in the last interview, quote said, I don't want to answer weird questions on stream. This isn't a stream, this is a recording, so that's a bit weird, but alright, dude, whatever. Anyway, I have their jungler, AMINARC, who has graciously decided to answer questions for me. How are you doing, AMINARC?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing fan-fucking-tastic. So, I want to get right to it. First things first, I gotta ask, Coach Pizza. This man evaluated at low diamond, right? Consistently ranking in the bottom of the power rankings that anyone has put out, is now being subbed out. Do you think it's better for you guys that you have a higher value player coming in, or do you think you're losing something with the synergy that you had with someone that you know?
I think with Coach Pizza, it's nice to have the same player with us every single week. And despite his power rankings, I think he just hasn't had his chance to really shine. He's always been a good part of our team, and he helps us get plays done, and he helps us win games. But he's got his own things coming up this week, and he can't play with us. So having another person in there, it might offer us a different play style, and it might offer us a chance to throw off our enemy because they don't have the same stuff to go off of.
Yep.
Versus, having Coach Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I like it. So you guys made playoffs largely on the fact of week 6 there was an FF, and then Coke beating NVM puts you guys through rather than having to play a tiebreaker week. What would you like to say to anyone that says you kind of like got handed a playoff win?
I don't think we would have had any issues beating the team that FF'd against us. And even with that said, I still think we're going to put on a hell of a show for that match. So
Speaking of hell of a show, I'm excited to see you and Dinner, the captain of KDT. So, knowing that you and Dinner apparently have known each other for a long time, how does this affect you? Does this add more stakes to the game?
it definitely raises the stakes for me, and I would assume it probably does for him as well. He got me into League, and he also got me into doing the Risen Draft League. So there's definitely a little bit higher stakes that make me want to like win this game more than if I were playing any of the other teams. Just personally, I don't know about the rest of my team, but
We always love a personal grudge match. I know, I sure know I do. Anyway, you guys had a week off, last week being the tiebreaker week. Do you think that has hurt you guys or helped you guys? And have you like played in between with the team, or how's that going?
I don't think it's going to have any effect on us because we've been dealing with reschedules on and off and erratic play times. So we're just going to show up, we're going to play, and we're going to win, like we have done for 4 of our other 2 games, or whichever games we won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you guys are into Big Fella Gabe. This is a player that I wanted to make a point of pointing out here to you. This is power rankings, again, put him towards the top almost every single time as the best mid laner in all of the league, one of the best players in all the league. He's on the all-star team, right? Do you guys have any plans with dealing with that, or what's your approach here?
Obviously, I don't want to give away what any of our plans are, but whichever lane Big Fella Gabe goes to, we're going to have a plan for it. So if he's going to top lane, I'm sure Drew can handle him no matter what. And Sloth in the mid lane, he punches well above his rank. So I don't think he's going to be an issue for us.
Love to hear that. So you guys have 3 of the 5 players on your team are diamond rated players, which is unusual. For most teams, you have like one very high ranked player and then a few lower ranked players. You guys got 3 out of 5. You drafted very well, evening that out, right? That being said, how does shot calling and comms work with a team of all very similar skill level? Do you guys have like a dedicated shot caller, or is it just kind of anyone at any time?
So we don't have a designated shot caller, but we do go into each game establishing what our game plan is going to be and what possible win counts we have. And then that way we're all on the same page. So there isn't a need for one shot caller. It's more so if one of us sees a play and we all agree that it's a good play, then we just go for it. We execute and we go from there. So.
All right, fantastic. Well, we're running out of time, so I'm going to leave you. Do you have any last words that you want to say?
I think the only thing I have to say is we're hungry, and the other team has dinner. So,
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you very much for coming on. Tell your captain that next time he gets streamed, come fucking talk to me. Anyway,
we'll do it.
Best of luck to you in your games.
Thank
Have
you.
a good one.